Welcome to this edition of Diligence Inside Europe's Boardrooms. I'm TK Kerstetter and I'll be your host for today's show. Today we have a great topic. We're going to be talking about how Chief Human Resource Officers bring value to corporate boards. And joining me is somebody that knows quite a bit about this. Welcome Hein Knaapen, who's the CHRO for ING and also serves on the board as a non-executive board member of the Coca Cola European Partners. Welcome, Hein.
Thank you, TK. Thank you.
So I think it's a great way to start the show would be for you to just explain to our audience, viewing audience, a little bit about ING and about Coca Cola Partners.
Yes. So ING, we're a bank. We are both a retail bank and a wholesale bank. We operate globally, the retail bank primarily in Europe, with a balance sheet of 850 million and some 55,000 employees in around 45 countries. So that's about ING. And then I'm fortunate to serve on the Dutch board of the company called Coca Cola European Partners, and we are the European bottler for the Coca Cola company. Operating across the continent and in the UK as well. And for the Dutch operation, I'm a non-executive board member.
So it's really a pleasure for me to have somebody on who's the Chief Human Resource Officer, because I think it's one of the most discussed issues is the relationship between the CHRO and corporate boards. Because when you think about it, that's talent management, that's talent development. Everybody talks about how important people are to the formula, but they don't talk about it near enough at the board level. And this is a great opportunity for us to just have the opportunity to do that. So my first question for you as an experienced CHRO is what would be your three keys to an effective relationship between the CHRO and the corporate board or supervisory board?
Yes, right. So, you know, in this particular country, we work with a two-tier board structure. So I would both work with the executive board and the supervisory board. My first responsibility, my first pillar of impact would be partnering with the CEO and the board, the executive board, on enhancing their leadership effectiveness. That's a vital part of my job. Making sure the CEO and the board enhance their impact by becoming greater leaders and better managers. So that is, you do that by conversation, by challenging them, by supporting them, and so on. I would say the second pillar is designing and driving the people agenda. How do you build people solutions? How do you work with management to make sure they drive performance in their teams? So how do you make sure that their effectiveness to drive the people agenda increases? So that would be the second pillar, everything around driving and creating the people agenda. And then the third one would be exactly the same, but then for my own team, making sure the capability of HR professionals across the bank enhances, because that is a formidable lever for creating management effectiveness. I would say those three as my main contributions to the performance and the value creation of the bank.
So most of that is connected with the executive board. What is your communication with the supervisory board?
So I would do at a slightly greater distance the same with the supervisory board. They meet less often than the executive board does, but I would be in almost continuous exchange with particularly the chairman of the supervisory board, exactly around the same topics. How do we enhance leadership impact? How do we create and drive a people agenda conducive to value creation of the bank?
One of the things that we see globally is the diversity change in boards. There's much more diversity, gender, racial, age, diversity of thought. It's become very important, and it sort of means that the new directors coming on board are all different levels. So the process of onboarding new supervisory or executive directors becomes, certainly part of the responsibility to educate them on the business. How do you think companies in the Netherlands or in Europe can improve on their onboarding process?
Yeah, great question, DK. It is, I think, particularly in the circumstances we operate under nowadays, it's harder, it changes more often, it's more difficult to be effective as a company. And as a consequence, the requirements for the effectiveness of board members have increased a lot. Now, like much in my professional field, the solution here is not conceptually difficult, but that doesn't make it easy. The point is make a plan. So when a new board member comes in, sit with the board member, look at his antecedents, and just find out together with that board member where they need most support, where they feel at ease, how they most quickly familiarize with their portfolio of responsibilities, and then sit with them every few weeks to find out, what have you done, what have you learned, how can I help you? And it may sound very unspectacular, but we're finding out that that meticulous, well-structured approach does a lot to really create a robust foundation of effectiveness for that board member. Once you've done that in over, say, 3 to 4 months, they're much more at ease in their responsibility. So that is the way we approach this, and we're very pleased with the tremendous impact of that, say, simple approach.
So who, Hein, do you communicate with internally with that plan? Because I would suspect that you have to touch base with other people that are going to contribute to that plan. So who would you speak to internally?
So those would be, of course, in the first place, the CEO, who takes a lively interest in effective onboarding of his team members. And then it would be a collection of senior managers closest to the remit of the new board member. So that would vary from case to case. And on average, I would be in touch with 5 to 7 senior managers to just energize them and focus their attention to making that new board member successful. It's an investment of time, it requires focus, and it's not difficult, but it's not easy to have it done and to just have the discipline and the focus to get it done.
Well, Hein, I want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come and talk about a topic that I think is very important. And again, I appreciate you joining me.
Thank you so much. Great to meet you.
And that will conclude this edition of Inside Europe's Boardrooms. We hope you enjoyed the show. We'll be back again next week when we take another look at a critical topic that'll help you be a better board member or committee member. So we'll see you then.